And our keynote speaker, returning for the second time, is none other than Dr. Belinda Nwosu. Please, a round of applause as she comes up, please.
My slides ready? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Sound excited. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to HMC. It's a pleasure to be here. Every one of you in this room, you are a gift. Thank you for the work that you do. A round of applause for yourselves. I was reflecting this morning, thinking about how long I've been in the industry, since 1998. Some of you were not born. And this is just an honor to be here and to see how far this industry has come over the years, over the decades. I'm extremely humbled to be here. My role today is just to throw in a bit of some insights around what I have learned over the years. And I'm hoping that you will throw it back at me as well and help me to learn. Like I said, today's illiterate is not a person who cannot read or write, but a person who does not learn, unlearn, and relearn. So just as we heard from Justina, hopefully we'll take something out of what we have heard today. So I'm going to talk about the future of hospitality. The future is already here, like Benga has told us. But what are we going to do on our own part to be part of that future? Global standards to deliver excellence. These global standards, we need to understand what they are and how they impact us as people and managers. So the first question I want to ask, and I want a response, if your hotel fails, who's to be fired first? The GM. Why? Why the GM? Because that's where the buck stops. But what if it's not your fault? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. Next slide, please. How many of you remember this phone on the left? Hands up. How many of you have this phone? Fewer. It's a pity if you don't have it. One of the most versatile, rugged, most robust phones ever. Agreed? You drop it from the top of the stairs. What do? It decouples. Put it back together with what? A rubber band. And it's good to go. Right? Robust. But it's a phone on the right that most people have, isn't it? Or you aspire to. Like I always say, iPhones are overrated. But anyway. Let's think about that. The world is changing. Where are you in the spectrum? Are you still a Nokia 3310? Or have you moved on? If you are still with Nokia 3310, I don't mean this. I hope there's no Nokia representative here. Good, fine. If you are still in that era, this is your vocabulary. This is how we have always done it. Have you made that statement in the last few weeks? This is how we have always done it. Today's world looks for adaptive leadership, the ability to adapt to change, to foresee change, and to be a part of that change, and not reactive. So that's something that we have to take out. This is how we've always done it. Is there anything that we can do to make it better? That's adaptive leadership. Next slide, please. Does this look like a familiar image? So these are one of the things that I thought we will share today. I hope that this is a safe space and that we're going to speak the truth to ourselves? Is it? Is it? We need to speak the truth to ourselves if we're going to get to where we need to get to, correct? This image that you see, is it the reality or is it a figment of my imagination in our hotel showers? I can't hear you. Silence is not an answer. Is this the reality? Is that a problem? Is it a problem? If you don't think it's a problem, then you are the problem. We're talking about the future. One of the reasons why that would happen is a very plausible reason. And what's that? There is no water. Okay, so let's not talk about globalization, global standards, if we stick to the problems. What we should be is solution providers. There is no excuse for this to be happening in any of our properties in 2025. I'm throwing out this challenge because we can either remain where we want or where we are, or we can think about how we need to upgrade in order to play on the global stage. My experience, having worked with a lot of people as a trustee of the Institute of Hospitality from different parts of the world, is there's nothing special about us. The typical thinking is, this is Nigeria, or this is Africa. Let's manage. Have you heard that statement before? We manage. I don't want to preempt my slides, but let's continue the conversation. And I look forward to questions as well. I picked this up from the HMC WhatsApp group. Yeah, the chats just kept on coming. I had to switch off my phone. Did you see this on the WhatsApp group? So this is somebody's, I don't know, but somebody posted this. What was the message? That this is actually a hotel door. How easy it would be to get an intruder in your room. This is real. And these are the conversations I want us to have today. This is unacceptable. So we're not talking about AI, the globalization of technology, the basic ABCs of getting it right. Before we talk about global standards, let's talk about minimal standards as human beings. This is, I think, a lack of attention to detail. A lack of attention to the dignity of you as a professional and your guests as people who have come to experience hospitality. Staff waiting to show you Pro Max Shege because you don't have a PMS for your business. It's a reality. Global standards, and we don't have a PMS in our property. What are we doing? Hard questions we need to keep asking ourselves. Thank you, Brenga, for prompting that. Next slide. So this is a question I want to ask you. How do you view the world? What lens do you view the world through? If I wear rose-colored lenses, everything in this room will be rose-colored. If I wear yellow lenses, everything in this room will be yellow. What's the lens through which you see yourself as a professional and your contribution to the standards of your property and the standards of our industry? Have a very brief reflection on that. It's important to understand that global standards for everyone Global standards are not just for people outside the country or in other climes. When we say global, it means this pertains to every part of the world. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's a minimum standard that we should be aware of. There's a minimum standard that is acceptable for who? Everybody. Am I correct in saying that sometimes we tailor the standards to the client? Am I correct in saying that? To certain clients, we will go overboard to deliver excellent service. And to others, professionals, it doesn't matter who you are talking to or who is at the receiving end of your experience, you give it your all. So that's another lens through which we should understand and try to appreciate the other people and those who work for us, those people who come from within our climate and our environment, and those from outside. Every one of them is deserving of these global standards. Think about it. Next slide, please. Do we have volume? If those of you remember, this was 2012 Olympics, right? One of the best races ever. I still get goosebumps when I watch it. So the first leg was run by, second leg, third leg, Johan Blake, and the last leg by our Usain Bolt. Look at the timer. A pity we don't have volume so you could hear the crowd, but anyway. That's the race we're in. Let's break it down. First question I want to ask, is there anybody in this room who could beat that record? Oh, thank you for the volume now, but no problem. That's number one. Let's look at it from let's go back to the slide, thank you. Think about it this way. That's the global stage. We're all in the race. How many winners came out? One. Okay, so that's an indication of the level of our teamwork. How many winners were there? There were 4 winners. Who are the winners? The members of the Jamaican relay team, correct? So that's one thing. Do I think about individuals or do I think about the team? It's the team. Yeah? Who was the most important part of that team? I can't hear you. All of them. Are you sure? Think about it. Reflect. Who was the most important member of that relay team? Okay, I'm hearing somebody said the first.
On your mark, set.
Pata is the first. Fraser is the second. Johan Blake, third. And Usain Bolt, fourth. Round of applause. Like I say, goosebumps all the time I watch it. Thank you very much. Who was the most important? I heard first leg. First leg was the most important, okay? Third leg, all of them. Thank you very much, Prof. Now, I did the breakdown. Each one of those athletes went over and above their personal best in this race. None of them were able to meet up, or rather their personal bests were a lot higher, right? Timing than when they ran as a team. They ran faster in this race. Now, how many of you have ever seen Usain Bolt at the start? He's very clumsy. It takes a long time for him to unfold his legs and get started. Do you notice he was not put as a starter? The coach understands that every single member of this team has a role to play. So I did a bit of research. To be the starter, you must be very good at starting. You can be a very fast runner, you can be Usain Bolt, but if you can't start, it's game over. Before you blink, the relay is over. You should also be, when you are a starter, be able to pass on the baton without dropping it. How many of you watched the Olympics last time? The US team, every Olympics, what do we have? The US team will drop the baton because we have individual stars, but we don't have what? A team. Think about that when you think about your properties, what you're operating as a manager. Is it about you or is it about the team? The second leg must be able to receive a baton, but what? Also to be able to give it, and to be able to run the bend. The second 100 meter, the 200 meter is a what? It's a bend. Do you notice that the skill set is different from the person who starts? How do you as managers identify talent in your team and put them where they thrive? The third leg has to be a person who is able to what? Receive the baton, give the baton, and run the straight in a very competitive spirit. Did you realize that Johan Blake, by the third leg, was almost behind? But what did he do? He was able to catch up. And the coach knew that and put him on the third leg. So my question is, why did Usain Bolt, why was he placed in the last leg? Because of what? His speed. By this time, everybody in the stadium is on their feet and they are screaming. And everybody else is trying to catch up with you. You have to have that talent. So I think the learning for me from this race is, as managers, understand the individuals in your team and put them where they will thrive. You need to know your team members. We'll come to the next point in a bit. Thank you. Next slide. So remember the bucket and the cup in the shower, right? There is no water, so I'm justified. Then we're not ready for the future. But this is also very common among us. Being realistic, this is Nigeria, this is Africa. Have you heard yourself say that? Let's be honest. Have you heard yourself say that? This is Nigeria, this is Africa, this is Kenya, this is Cameroon. These are the standards we can uphold within our environment. That's to be mediocre, right? So, being realistic, you're definitely thinking about the fact that I can't measure up. Do you remember the lens we were talking about? What's the lens through which you see yourself, through which you see your industry, through which you see your profession? That's something we need to think about. If my lens is mediocre, I will see everything from that perspective. Next slide, please. So I want to share with you just a few nuggets from the research that I have been doing with my colleagues at University of Pretoria, the Gibbs Business School. So we've been working on this for over a year, and we're coming up with fantastic insights. We have done so far 30 major interviews with top leadership across sub-Saharan Africa. So we have leaders from the west of Africa, south, east, sub-Saharan Africa, yeah, the three major regions. And we had a sit-down, over 2-hour conversations with them. What's the issue around leadership development in Africa? Why do we have very few role models, local talent that excels, right? And we had some very powerful insights that I want to share with you. Because at the end of the day, yes, we want to be global, but we need to look within as well. What is it that needs to change? So some of these insights were here. There's 5 nuggets. One is leadership development. We're going to talk about that. Networks and sponsors. Global currency, very, very important. Personal integrity. The fact that I put it forth doesn't mean it's not the most important. And finally, human flourishing. I will speak about that, my very big interest. Okay, so let's go to leadership development. So my first question, are all managers leaders? No. Are all leaders managers? Fantastic. The fact that you have a position or you have a name tag does not make you a leader. We think so. We like to think so. I get an official car. I get my own desk. I get to walk around and I have the power to fire or hire. Therefore, I am a leader. You have no influence. It's all the perks around you that are giving you some kind of presence. A leader is a person who is able to influence others to do things because they want to do them, not because they're going to get fired. So let me ask this question again. Which one is easier, to be a manager or to be a leader? To be a leader. That means you don't know what leadership is. To be a manager, do this, go there, put that there, take that up, no problem. But to get people to do things because they want to, whether you are present or not present, that's the big difference. So one of the things that we came up with in the study, okay, I need you to click here. Owners and brands do not trust local talent. So this was an insight for the interviews. We had over 70, 80,000 pages of transcripts. And this message came out time and time again. Owners and brands do not trust that local talent can take up those roles. So let's turn it around. True or not true? That's the big question. Why will they not trust us? Maybe it's because of what they have seen. So the onus is on us. Let us think about it. How can we build trust in owners? How can we build confidence in our abilities? That's the journey I'm taking you through. Next point. Operational excellence, beautiful. We need to be perfect in that area because we're delivering services. But we need to be thinking about strategic level possibilities. I can't be in my pots and my pans and my plates, my crockery, my linen. That's very good. But that won't take you anywhere. You've gone through that route. To go to the next level of your development, you're going to have to be able to think strategically. And many times that's lacking. Are you building a succession plan? Or are you competing with your downlines and your peers? Are we still struggling to be in that position so nobody takes it from me? Or are we looking to develop the people coming after us so that I can go to the next level? So those of you who are fighting for that position, remember that statement. That means you have no intention to grow. This is data we have come out with. Succession planning. Who have you groomed to take over your role? Nobody? Then we now know where the problem is. Thank you. Next slide. Networks and sponsors. So with my MBA students, this is our favorite topic. We talk about networks. If you don't have people or someone who will speak for you when you are not in the room, and we haven't started. We're not talking about godfathers and godmothers. We are talking about someone who knows the value that you bring to the business. And when an opportunity comes, they will speak for you. And you are not present there because you are not in that room. That is your sponsor. To have a work sponsor is critical for moving to the next level of development in your profession. Somebody somewhere said something and gave you that opportunity. So we found that people who have grown up the ranks had a sponsor, but they had a sponsor who spoke because that person had value to add. Who is your sponsor? Do you have a sponsor? Will they speak well of you when you're not in the room? These are competencies, capacities we should be building in order to develop. So skills, very good. Integrity, excellent, but you need someone to speak to you, for you. Next slide, please. Next, yeah. That's what we've said. Who advocates for you behind closed doors? Next point, please. Okay? You need to be able to demonstrate your value. That means we need to know, we need to be. Okay? So the third point, is that me? No, okay, good. The next point, please. Global currency. One of the key things we found out in our study is that if we don't have exposure, if we are people who have only grown and lived and experienced our own environment, chances of reaching the top are very slim. Very, very slim. So let's just take the 3 points. Just click 3 times, please. Thank you. Exposure is global currency, your ability to engage with the world. Now, yeah, I was talking to one of my colleagues here. Even if you want to fly economy, you're not going to dish out anything less than 1.5 million. So we're not talking about that. We are saying, even when it comes, next point, please, even when it comes to the movies that you choose to watch, I'm fascinated by people who spend their time watching Big Brother. I can see you, some of you are trying not to make eye contact with me anymore. You don't have time. We're developing ourselves. Where do you get that time? Yeah? We need to be able to watch things that improve us as people, expose us to different cultures, expose us to the world. Movies that help us reflect. I find it very difficult, sorry that I offend anybody, to watch Nollywood movies. Why is that? Challenge me. I need something that will challenge me and make me think, how can I apply this to my development? Internships. I think we've started a bit of that in the hotel managers school. Executive internships. When you have networks, you can move around the continent. It's a lot easier to move around our continent now. I know, no, calm down before you harass me. I know it's difficult, but it's getting easier. Cross the border over to Benin Republic. Have an experience and imbibe that experience and come and bring it out into what you do. Right? Travel if you can. Travel and experience and make that work for you, because that is what people are looking out for. Many of the Nigerians in this room, you travel to London, and where do you stay? Peckham. And you don't go beyond Peckham. You don't go around and see what is happening, right? And then straight back to the airport. What kind of cultural experience have you had? None. Hello, are we connecting? Exposure, cultural exposure. Build your cultural intelligence. Way back when Delta Airlines came into Nigeria, their first inaugural flight, we were working with the airline catering company, and we were having a discussion about the menu. Apparently, they had put in a fantastic menu for the inaugural flight from Lagos to Houston. And it had some cheese, and it had some, So the airline catering company in Lagos told them, advised Delta, please, we would like to suggest something about the menu. Perhaps you might consider putting in some kind of sauce, chicken, pepper, the typical thing. It wasn't listened to, and there was almost a riot on board when they were over the Atlantic. The chef lost his job. So what am I saying with this? Within our environment, we're very attached to what we're used to. People will not eat what they don't know. But that's part of the cultural experience. That's about cultural intelligence. How can I broaden my view? How can I understand things outside of my own experience? That's one of the things that distinguish people who have grown over people who have remained where they are. The ability to adapt to other cultures. And it's very sad that we use our diversity to divide us as opposed to enrich the conversation. Managers, we cannot be divisive. We cannot be in camps. Thank you. The next slide, and I'll end soon. Personal integrity. If you come to LBS, the first thing they'll tell you at Lagos Business School is about what? Integrity. We want to raise responsible leaders to lead Africa. That responsibility comes with integrity. A book I read recently, 100 Ways to Steal from the Bar, written by a barman. 100 ways to steal from the front desk. Imagine that. Or you, as managers, 100 ways glorifying something that shouldn't be glorified. This is untouchable. If you had a juggler in front of you and the person was juggling plastic balls, if the plastic balls fall to the ground, what happens? You pick them up, isn't it? But integrity is a glass ball. You drop that ball, what happens? Very difficult to put together. This should be an area that is non-negotiable for us. And that's what's inhibiting local talent from growing. Integrity issues. Yeah? This is the ultimate competitive advantage. Your influence will come from people knowing they can trust you. One of our students, the alumni from the Alumni Association of Lagos Business School, came to give an account of what had happened to him. The different classes he had had on ethics at LBS helped him in his business. A client came to him with a very dodgy proposal, and he said no, and he lost millions. But he said, this is not what they taught us at LBS. And he was fine with that. 3 years later, that client came back to him with a multi-million-dollar business proposal. He said, I trust you will do this for me. Think about it. Plant a seed. Integrity. Last stage. Thank you. Human flourishing. Remember what we said at the beginning? We need to be able to learn, relearn, unlearn, right? I'm currently doing a program in psychology because I've understood just how important it is in leadership. If we don't understand ourselves, if we don't understand other people, how can we lead them? Self-knowledge is critical. There are 3 main levels to flourishing. Not existing. We are not here to exist. We are here to flourish. And we flourish on 3 levels. The personal level. If you're not flourishing as a person, and what do we mean by flourishing? That you are doing things that make you feel good, then you're existing. Second level, relationships. If your relationships are not flourishing, whether family, in the workplace, you won't be happy. You won't be at your best. And the third level is your work. If you're not flourishing in your work, something is missing. Human flourishing is on the personal level, on the relationship level, and on the work level. You need to be able to think, are the people in my team flourishing? This is another discussion for another day, how we treat people. How do we treat the people that work with us? Doesn't matter, there are a lot of unemployed people out there. If you leave today, I can get someone in. Is that something that a manager who is looking at helping people flourish, should that be something that they're saying? Let's think about it. So to end, I know I have said some very hard things, but that's why we're here. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let's tell ourselves what we need to do in order to improve. I would like to recommend to all of you to take this psychology assessment to understand who you are. It helped me immensely. At this stage in my life, I have taken 6 psychometric tests, and with each one, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more to improve. I bet you that when you reflect, as long as you respond very honestly, okay? Not how you want to be, but how you are. It's not a problem. We have time. We can work on it. I bet you when you finish this, this will give you a guideline that will help to develop all these competencies we've been talking about from the beginning. Your personal integrity, seeking flourishing for other people and for yourself, exposure, cultural intelligence. Global standards begin with us here and now. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And good morning, the keynote speaker. I actually enjoyed your presentation, very insightful. I followed carefully, and here I have about 6, 7 questions, but I'm going to ask only 2.
One, sir. Please.
One.
Sir. Yes, sir.
We can
Please,
meet on the side afterwards.
Okay. Okay. So I'm a little confused as to which one to ask. But let me ask one anyways. When you were talking about global standards, readily what comes to my... Sorry, my name is Dr. Edward Akerele. What comes to my mind are the known ones. I have a number of them like ISO 9001, ISO 22000, and the rest. But then, my view is this. Most of these standards, they are majorly influenced by Western views. Now, my question is this. To what extent do these global standards account for cultural and regional diversity, especially in our industry, hospitality, when it comes to service delivery and expectation, considering that people differ from one place to the other and the expectations vary across climes? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Amazing that you should ask that specific question. Currently, there's a call for contributions to a book that we are writing, editing, a couple of colleagues from Zimbabwe and from Ghana, about hospitality lived in traditional African society. So I would like to encourage you to make a contribution. Are we going to change the world? No, but we can start little by little trying to build our own narrative. And our narrative is hospitality is instinctive, natural to us. How do we translate, or how do we explain, or how do we tell the world the story about lived experiences in traditional African hospitality? So let's start there. I would like to challenge you. write something about write something about standards within our traditional hospitality field. When we begin to understand it, then we can begin to live it. But there's nothing on the ground at the moment, isn't it? So that is why it is difficult. What exists is what is available. Let's put our narrative out there so that that can be a contributor to the global standards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Edward, I hope that was helpful. Other 6 questions, eh?
We can meet on the side.
Exactly. Sidebar. Sir. Question number 2.
Yes, thank you. My name is Emmanuel Frimpong. Thank you very much so much, Dr. Belinda, for that insightful conversation. My question has to do with the bucket that you showed and the elaboration that you gave. Could we also look at it from water sustainability point of view, that for some people, they feel if you open the shower, you waste more water. If you use a bucket, you use less water. So can we have a look at that? And for me, I also love to use my bucket to bath. I don't know, but I enjoy it. So can we have... Thank you.
Okay, you got me there. One thing that comes to my mind is the fact that you could think about the wastewater used to flower the plants. I don't know, it's a cycle, right? Have you thought about, and I challenge you again here, a traditional African hotel? And have the works, your calabash for your bathing and all that within the room. But if we're talking about global standards applicable across line, not everybody likes the bucket. Maybe we can give them an option. We have the bucket in the room at the front desk. Would you like a bucket, sir? And then we can make it available to you. But thank you for that.
Last question.
Okay, so my question is in one, but it's may require like 3 sets. And my question is, looking at the video you showed us, the relay race. Now, everyone is being fixed according to the coach that, oh, at this speed, this person works better, which is to achieve a goal for the country. At an individual space, everybody has a personal goal. Now, you've decided as a manager that we are here, I believe that is happening around us. You notice the staff is good in this area and you keep the staff there. And at a point, the staff tells you, oh, please, can you move me? You say, no, you are good, you are okay there. You are fulfilling the company goals, aims, and objectives. Now, this staff leaves, you start all over. How do you handle fixing people in where you think they belong in an organization? I don't know if you get me, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. I was just listening out to the terminology. How do I fix them where they do best? So the question I'm throwing back at you is, have you tried to co-create with that person? You'll be surprised and amazed of the ideas that that person has for improving the overall place. What you see might not be their lived experience, right? Then speak with them, co-create, where do you fit best and where will you excel? That's like a chess player, right? Moving the pieces where, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do to win the game. You can't force people to do what they don't want to do. Thank you for bringing that up. Motivation. You cannot motivate a person. You can only create the environment for a person to choose to be motivated. And that's where you want your people. Co-create with the person to find where they will excel. Yeah? Thank you very much. Thank you so much.